started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder. Couldn't help but wonder. I couldn't help but wonder. I couldn't help but wonder.
Hi, welcome to Seagulls Make Do. I'm your host Alex, and I'm Snake Plissken.
I'm your host Stephanie, and I'm not special for knowing how to drive stick.
And I'm Sue, and my dick is bigger in Canada.
That's just how
That's the one I thought I was going to have to fight for.
Oh, I was nearly going to go, I have a date with a dildo.
Yeah, the thing is, this episode was so good, and so there's just so many good nicknames you could have gone with this week, so...
I'm so thrilled to be on for this one in particular.
Yeah, no, I loved this. I'm so happy we had a guest on for this one, especially you, because we've been wanting to have you on for so long, so I'm excited, and...
Yeah,
thank you, me too.
You're a West Coast representative.
Oh my god, you are for our West... Well, they're not the same West Coast area, but, like, still.
Yeah.
Seattle, California, pretty much the same thing, right?
I mean, you can drive from Seattle to California, so it makes sense.
That's true. You can also drive from New York City to California, but...
I know,
can
it'll take
also
longer.
pay all of my money for, like, a postage stamp apartment, and it's all the same here.
Yeah.
True. What's your history with Sex and the City, Sue?
Almost non-existent, to be honest, because I grew up Catholic, and my parents, my mom was, like, we weren't even allowed to watch The Simpsons, so something with the word sex in it was certainly just out. And I guess my first really, like, experience was listening to your podcast, so there it is, yeah.
Well, I'm happy that you have gotten to finally be able to watch it, despite the Catholic.
Oh, now I have, like, faces to put to names, and it's good to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
This one is a super good one because so it's season 3, episode 13, Escape from New York. It's good because we're not in New York this time. We're in LA.
Yeah, so we are missing a central character of the city of New York.
Well, kind of, but, like, Charlotte's still in New York City because they left her behind. So
They abandoned her.
they did. They just were like, "Sorry, you're married. We don't like you anymore."
They left her behind to exactly the fate that she deserves at this point.
You know what? You're right. So
She's reaping what she's sown here, so...
You're not wrong.
You're right. Should we just jump into the episode?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so we start with Carrie, like, solemnly packing her bags because, she's so sad because she ruined her relationship with her boyfriend, with her ex-boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend.
So sad.
It's tragic. And the sky is crying just like her. It's really dreary, and so, like, obviously you gotta go to LA to just, make your life better, I guess. That's what
The
happens.
Sunshine State.
Yeah.
Is that Florida?
You know what? I have no idea. I was getting my nails done yesterday and watching the news, and it was like they kept showing that the Raptors were playing, like, the Warriors, and I was like, okay, but where are they from? Like, who the fuck are the Warriors? And then they were like, the Golden State Warriors, and I was like, what the fuck's the Golden State? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh,
I'm American and I don't even know. I don't know who cares.
I was just gonna ask you, but, like, I mean, I feel like one of the shining parts of our show is neither of us having any idea about America, but then we have American
It is
guests,
really good to hear sometimes.
They still don't know, so...
Yeah, I don't know shit. It's fine. I very rarely leave Canada, so it's good to me.
It's better that way.
Yeah.
So they're having brunch in the usual spot, and Charlotte's not going to LA with the girls. She just got back from a honeymoon in Bermuda.
What? They went to Bermuda and they spent the whole time golfing. Like, when you go to Bermuda, don't you, like, go to the beach?
Not if you're
Yeah.
white people.
That's true.
They are very white.
If you're rich and you're white, you play golf. It's what you do.
I mean, it's true. I just didn't even know that golf was like a thing in Bermuda that people. I mean, I guess like resorts will obviously have shit for like tourists to do, but like.
Oh, everywhere in the Caribbean, if you're in like a nice resort, they will have a golf course. They will.
Okay, I've never been to the Caribbean, so.
I have. It's nice.
I bet it's nice. And Charlotte had a good time playing so much golf with Trey.
Oh. But yeah, she's showing them pictures. They were wearing Bermuda shorts in Bermuda.
That's just so quirky. And okay, so this is where we learn that the reason they're going to LA it's not just because she wants to escape from her boyfriends, but it's because she's like, oh yeah, her column might get made into a movie. Like people are interested in making it into a film, which
this is such a fake premise.
It is.
They did it with the show.
Like the show, HBO, but like the movie. I mean, I guess the book turned into a show, but
which then turned into a movie.
A book is different.
But they're talking about making a movie out of a like newspaper article. Like,
yeah,
okay.
Out of the column, it seems like it would be. I mean, what you think, like a chick flick about Carrie and Big, but then it feels like the column's more just like about like weird sex stuff.
And it's not even like a column in like the New York Times. She writes for like the New York Star, which like how do people even know about her column who like don't live in Manhattan?
Like, I would imagine. So I think like the New York Times is, you know, like the Washington Post or whatever. It's prestigious enough that it's read elsewhere.
Yeah.
But like, I think the New York Star is meant to be like the New York Post, which is like a trash mag.
That's what I always figured.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Maybe in the 90s it works.
Oh yeah, because people read paper.
True.
Imagine that.
Yeah, the newspaper industry is very not in a good place right now. But so then like two of the girls, so Miranda and Samantha leave, and then we get this like good conversation with Carrie and Charlotte about how they both just made terrible decisions in their life and how now they're just dealing with the terrible results of it.
We also get this shot of Carrie like putting her hand on Charlotte's and like twiddling with her wedding ring, and it's really gay.
It's so gay. It's really good.
I thought you were gonna say it was on the wrong hand, but that's more important.
That movie. I would watch that.
I would watch that too. What I also liked about this scene was like every time someone left the table, they gave Charlotte like a kiss on the cheek, and I was like, oh, they didn't do that to Carrie.
No, what would you?
No, but it is kind of funny that they would do it in front of Carrie and then not do it to Carrie.
I mean, it's kind of like a Victorian like lesbian novel of like, oh, she gets married, but her marriage isn't, you know, fulfilling her, so she has an affair with her best friend.
Oh my god, I love it. I would extremely read that.
Now that's a movie. That's a movie they need to make.
Is that Gentleman Jack? I keep seeing people talk about Gentleman Jack, and I don't HBO, so
I don't know.
I haven't watched it. I think she's just like, oh, I did see a clip where she like fingered a girl and then wrote down her diary. Yeah, she's like vigorously fingering her in bed, and then she turns over, wipes her fingers down, and then writes like in her diary about it.
Who did this?
Iconic.
Like, I stan, but I'm like just imagining Charlotte doing this now, and it's like, good for her.
Not enough media portraying the reality of lesbian sex and wiping off your fingers afterward.
Yeah.
Somebody has to tell that truth.
And then tweeting about it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I mean, you gotta. Like, can you imagine getting laid and, like, having sex with a woman and not immediately being like, the Lonely Island voice, I just had sex? Like, but, I guess this is where Charlotte kind of freaks out and breaks the facade of being like, because before she was all happy with like, showing her pictures of them golfing and being like, oh, we had so much fun. And now she's just like, yeah, we haven't fucked. Like, still, like, we didn't have sex on our honeymoon. And Carrie's like, oh, like, I mean, she mentions like impotence can be pretty common, and Charlotte's just like, he can't be impotent. He's gorgeous. He's Cal McLaughlin.
I mean, he looks plenty virile, but if you're married to someone you haven't had sex in 2 weeks, on your honeymoon, one would imagine he's either not that into you or he is genuinely impotent.
The two, I would imagine. I just really love the implication that being gorgeous means you can't be impotent.
Exactly. Your face is connected to your dick.
Carrie's basically like, oh, you win. Like, you're having a worse time than me. And it's like, well, it wasn't a competition, but
It always
sure.
is with Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's one of those people that like just competes with every woman she sees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, so after the bring up impotence, like obviously Charlotte's a bit disturbed by this and just throws it off of, no, he was just nervous. And once all the wedding thing has been dealt with and it's over, we'll be fine. And Carrie's like, sure.
Yeah, it's Carrie does want to be supportive, but yeah, she's definitely making a face that says, okay, honey.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carrie also talks about her problems with Aiden and Big because I guess Charlotte left immediately after her wedding for the honeymoon and missed the gossip. I don't know.
Well, I guess she probably didn't tell her on the day. And then, yeah, they seem like the type of people who would leave maybe the day after the wedding to go on the honeymoon.
Yeah, that makes sense. It just seems like there's so much to clean up at that point. But I guess they're rich, so like...
They have someone else do it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so, yeah, Carrie's like, oh, why don't we go shopping? And Charlotte says, no, it's fine. You go. I'll be all right. I'm going to have a coffee. And Carrie leaves. She opens the doors and it's like smash cut to LA where it's all sunny and gorgeous.
Yeah. I did like this cut. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They look so cute.
There were some really, really good looks in this episode.
There were. They look so cute in this scene, just arriving at the hotel. God, I wish that were me. I wish I was arriving in California today to just fucking chill instead of sitting in Ontario where I want to die.
Yeah, same. Like, at least they have air conditioning.
I'm not even dying from heat or anything, or like I'm literally just dying because I hate spring so much. And like I literally woke up this morning because my nose was running so much that it woke me up. So
that was me the other day.
I hate spring so much. I literally would rather like I can't. I just hate allergies and I'm over it and that's that.
You're valid.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they go to check in at the hotel and there's just like a go-go boy, I guess, in a giant fish tank behind like the concierge.
He's just sitting there flipping through a magazine. It's normal.
It's like how much do you think this guy gets paid an hour to just be nearly naked in a tank behind the concierge?
Definitely more than I get paid.
We'll see. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would. This is my dream job. Like,
right?
I think my dream job is just sitting around somewhere looking pretty. Like, you know how Disney used to have those mermaids that would just like lie there and be like, "Oh, hi everyone," and then swim a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was born to do.
That sounds delightful.
Right?
Yeah.
I would love to do that, but then have people like feeding me cheese the whole time. That's the dream.
There's a cheese dispenser nearby. It's like when you go to the aquarium and there's like harbor seals and you can like feed them fish.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. It's just that for us.
Like Camembert. It's good. And this like nearly naked model guy is like making flirty faces with Sam, of course, because, you know.
Yeah.
They're both horny.
She is just ready to get it all the time.
You know what? Going to a new city, might as well. Just fucking she's only there for like a few days. She got to rip through LA, so
She
I
is
respect it.
ready.
Uh-huh.
They're all kind of ready, apart from Carrie.
Yeah, Miranda's ready too. Like, I think this is the horniest we've seen Miranda in a while, and like, she does have a couple episodes where she's like pretty horny, but this one takes the cake, I think.
This is
Yeah.
a really good Miranda episode.
It is.
She was so valid this whole time.
Yeah, and she didn't even like really have a plot. She was just there, and she was like the best part.
Well,
So
this isn't. I used to think I was more of a Charlotte, but after this episode, I think I'm a Miranda.
oh my god, I love it. Oh yeah, we never even asked you who you were. Oh my god, it's so important.
I was kind of panicking over answering that question because, like, I don't know. But then I watched this episode and like, I'm a Miranda now. That's who I
I love
am.
it.
I'm so glad.
I love it. I mean, if you were a Charlotte, that's valid too, because like Charlotte
Yeah.
definitely has some qualities that are very very good. But Miranda is my personal favorite, so same hat.
Mhm.
We're both Miranda.
All of the identities are valid except Carrie, which is why I claim Carriehood.
True. So we need to talk about that shot right after they check in and they're coming out the doors and they're all in their like New York finest, I think is the line.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, because like the whole reason that they even come outside is because Carrie needs to smoke because she's not allowed to smoke in her hotel room. Like the number of times they talk about not being able to smoke places in this episode is so funny. 'Cause
Has
it's
she
like,
never been to a hotel? She is like so concerned over not being able to smoke. Like this can't be the first time someone has told her you can't fucking
Well,
smoke inside.
This is 2000. They still had smoking rooms and non-smoking rooms. Like, it really... This was a dark time. You could smoke inside. So I guess this is alien to her. But then...
Well, in LA, maybe not. Like, I think the
yeah.
West Coast was among, like, the first to start banning it.
That makes sense.
Like, that happened pretty early, I feel like.
Yeah, that would make sense. But there's a lot of, like, people don't smoke in LA because... I don't know, I guess there is that stereotype of, like, LA being more health conscious.
I feel like I cannot imagine that at all because I'm just imagining LA being like a hellscape of fucking like celebrities and models and people, and I'm like, these people certainly smoke and drink. Like, I don't know. It just seems like the culture in that city. I don't know, but not everyone, obviously. But like, I certainly can't imagine it being like, oh, it's a culture where no one does these things.
Well, you also spend a lot more time outside in a place like LA.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not as big of a deal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there's
But
even places
you're not gonna-
outside here where she can't smoke.
Well, of course there are places outside where you can't smoke, but I
Well,
mean, I do it
Very
anyway.
surprised though. I know it's like they're pretty strict about it in Canada. Like most places, like most cities, I don't know if it's federal law or provincial law, but like most places, it's like you must be 10 meters from a doorway to smoke, and like lots of university campuses, you can't smoke like outside anywhere.
Regardless, it doesn't seem to stop Carrie anyway.
No.
So
No, not at all.
So yeah, they like we posted it in a live begging, but in our Discord.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Samantha's in this like blue. I want to say it's like plastic outfit, and it's
probably
great.
like pleather or something, but it's
yeah,
this beautiful jumpsuit. Very good. I like to see it.
with a scarf.
Oh yeah, the scarf makes it, and it's like very cleavagey, and then it's just like there's a top and a bottom piece. It looks like she has like a tiny bit of midriff where you just see her belly button. It's a look, and I really really wish I had this outfit.
I feel like
Same.
there's a special edition Barbie with an outfit like this.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
probably. The girls all look so different too, because like they're very them. Like Samantha looks so over the top, like sexy but ridiculous, and then Miranda looks like pretty classy, like she's wearing a black dress with like a nice necklace thing, and then Carrie just looks kind of like the middle
clown.
ground between the two. Like it just a kind of, she does look like a clown always, but I mean she's kind of more like trendy but not ridiculous. But
I
she's
love her mismatched shoes. So
Yeah.
good.
Oh my
I do love them, but they're
I think
so
people should do that more.
stupid.
Right? I used to do this when I was a teenager with my Converse because I had so many pairs of Chucks that I wore. I would wear like a blue pair and a green pair, or like
Oh,
a
that was my dream. I
oh,
wish
it
I owned that many pairs, you know?
was,
I had like one pair I found on clearance for $20.
oh
And it was
fuck
good.
yeah. It's good to mix and match. Hers are like heels where one heel is pink and one is blue. Like they're the same shoe, but the colors don't match, and it's just so good.
Yeah, but she literally looks like Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad.
She does. So shout out to the picture that Summer made again. Our Twitter header.
So yeah, anyway, they smoke a cigarette. Carrie throws it. I don't know. She's there for like a second, throws it out, stomps on it, and they go back inside. Which I've smoked a couple cigarettes. They don't go down that quickly. But yeah, they go inside and they're in the cocktails, the hotel bar, which is like seems to be quite brimming with people.
It's popping for a hotel bar.
It is popping. Anyway, so Samantha is talking to a man with a blonde mustache, which not a good look.
Oh my god,
No, this was not a...
I didn't notice the mustache until the last scene he was in when they looked up on his face because it's so light. Like it matches the skin tone he has, and so I was like, I didn't notice it. And I was like, what the fuck? He's had a mustache the entire goddamn time.
It's a choice.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, at least a blonde beard you can see from a distance, but, like, a blonde mustache, it's like, do they have a top lip? Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he's a dildo model.
Uh-huh. That's a job.
That's not a full-time job. Like, that is, like, you're a porn star and then you, like, sell a dildo of your dick. That's the thing. Or you do some other sort of sex work or whatever. Like, you can't just be a full-time dildo model. There's other stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it, because it's like they get a mold of your dick or something, like, once, and then, like, they've got it. They don't need you anymore.
Do you get paid royalties?
I don't
Like,
hope
is that
so.
how that works? Like,
You
do you get a
must.
little cut of every sale?
A little cut.
Well, I think he must be like a porn star because they advertise the dick as being him.
They do, and like later on, he does talk about how he could do porn work. So it sounds like It sounds like he does do porn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What happens in this scene? Basically, they're just talking, and when she finds out he's a dildo model, she's super interested, and then he invites her to a party later, and that's pretty much it.
Here's an invitation. Come.
Oh.
Ugh.
And she sure fucking does.
Oh, she definitely does.
I always do.
Oh my god.
And then Miranda is talking to a man called Deke or Dick.
I think yeah, that's like his last name, I guess. Dique.
It's Dutch apparently. Like he says, like, oh, I thought about changing my name, but
I would probably.
I mean, come on.
I mean, as a man, it's like no one's gonna make fun of you. Well, I mean, people may make fun of you, but as a man, it's not like it's gonna have any impact on your life. I mean,
Oh, I would definitely make fun of him at every single opportunity.
true. That's true. I think as a woman, I would definitely change it, but like, yeah, it's. There's a lot of last names I would change. Like, it is unfortunate because you don't get to choose it, but. At least it's not spelled like D-I-C-K. But I mean, also people just choose to go by Dick as their fucking first name anyway. Like, they make that choice.
I kind of always wanted to marry a Richard because then I could be like, Dick.
My shitty ex would never tell people his middle name because it was Richard and he didn't want people to make fun of him for it. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But
Who's gonna make fun of someone's middle name?
I don't know. And it's not even like anyone ever abbreviates or nicknames a middle name. It's not like they're like, oh, your name is redacted Dick redacted. Like, I mean, I say that but not because of Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, oh, he says something which has been said to me and I always find to be so condescending, but Miranda doesn't really seem to react. He calls her a smart and funny woman, and he says, oh, it's so great to talk to a smart and funny woman.
Ugh.
I hate it.
It's so condescending. It's like, why are you surprised that women are smart and funny?
Yeah. It's definitely
And
very
she,
like if she just wants to get laid, it's kind of like I guess I can kind of get playing along with it, but at the same time it's just so like, oh, so you think like that, okay.
yeah, yeah, and and her hair looks terrible. She has like
Yeah.
almost turf bangs.
Uh,
Yeah, her hair was kind of bad in this episode.
yeah. I mean, I guess she couldn't be perfect, so it
It
wouldn't be
looks like she's trying to grow out a really short cut.
Yeah,
yeah, that's probably what's happening because it was pretty short before this, so um he says
but
you look
then.
like a lawyer and she says you look like a dick.
But yeah, then like a sexy, I guess, like model actress, it's implied, walks past and his eyes just wandered to her, and then he excused himself to
I
go
didn't
speak
get
to
this
her.
because she looked pissed off.
Yeah,
I thought she was like
yeah.
mad that he was talking to somebody else or something. That's how I interpreted that. She looked fucking pissed.
Well, she was sort of like smizing, I guess. Like she was definitely doing like a model-y, like, look into the camera thing. But it wasn't. Well, because Miranda says she had like huge tits, but I didn't notice them.
Yeah, I didn't notice
No,
that
they were
either.
normal.
Yeah, Miranda's description of it was very like she turned her head for like 1 second and saw the girl, and like that was it. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
was a little bit confused about where Miranda got this entire idea from, but I guess I do get it. I make up bullshit in my head all the time, but
This
She
guy
has
sucks
anxiety.
anyway. Who cares?
it's true.
Yeah, and do you really want to be Mrs. Dick?
No.
No. But then, okay, highlight of the episode for me.
Yeah, me too.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
She's here, and she's really funny too. Like her character is very, I don't know, kind of rude, but like kind of not. I don't know. I really liked her.
She's exactly what I think people who work in movies are probably like.
Yeah.
Like, she
Yeah.
was probably a theater kid and, like, tried to be an actor herself and just, like, ended up in a production role and is, like, super extra about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's like she's just been slamming Adderalls because she's talking so fast, and she's like, yeah, well, I want to be like you when I'm 30.
And Carrie makes this face, like,
It's such a condescending thing to say.
how dare you call me 30?
Like, she's like 35.
It's just very like, oh, when I'm old, I'm gonna be like, oh God. Yeah,
But yeah,
Carrie
she's
is not
talking.
into it. Mhm.
No, Carrie's not into it, but I do love this characterization because she is just talking really fast and she's really enthusiastic, and she's like, I love your story. I've had my heart broken, and you know what that means? Other girls have had their heart broken, and that means the show will be great for chick flicks, and the man who came up with that show has balls cut off.
Oh,
And
I
Carrie's
love
just
that.
like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite part of this whole scene was my favorite part, but she's like, oh, we got a star who's interested, guess. And Carrie's like trying to guess these actors, and it's just, I hate when people play that game.
Oh, same. It's like, okay, well, it's like when someone asks you to guess how old they are, and you're like, well, I don't want to guess something like really ridiculous and make you feel bad, but I also like, it's so awkward. And Carrie like hates it. She really doesn't want to guess, and she keeps guessing. She guesses like 2 actresses, and
She says Drew Barrymore and Jennifer Love Hewitt, I think.
It was Melissa Hartwoman, something like that.
yeah,
She, like, deadass doesn't know her name, which is valid.
Yeah.
it's really good.
But then there's this like very clearly like ADR of Sarah Michelle saying Matthew McConaughey.
I didn't even notice that. I wasn't paying attention.
I mean, it's part of the IMDb trivia that he was like a last minute guest, I think. It was meant to be someone else, and then they pulled out, and I don't know, somehow they got Matthew McConaughey.
They sure
And
did.
and Carrie hates it.
Well, I would too.
I would too. Although this was like the 90s before I was tired of Matthew McConaughey, but like
Well, that was
Also-
my thing. Like, isn't he supposed to be like hot in the 90s? Like, I've never understood the like straight fixation on Matthew McConaughey, but that's a thing, right?
Oh, he seems disgusting.
No,
Yeah.
he's so gross in this.
Yeah.
He's so fucking gross. Okay, do you know who was this role of Matthew McConaughey, the cameo? Do you know who was it supposed to be?
No.
Guess.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
guess
wanna.
Brad Pitt. I don't know.
It was Alec Baldwin.
What? What the fuck?
What?
Which I think he was also meant to, they tried to get him to play Mr. Big as well.
Oh, just imagining Jack from 30 Rock as Mr. He's the same character. They're both just like, I'm a Republican.
The thing is, he would have been really good too, is the thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
he would have. Like,
Unfortunately.
he is, and I mean, he does look the most like the actual Mr. Big, but maybe that would be a bit too on the nose.
Yeah, that's true. He would have been like a good fit in terms of like age and looks for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it's just so gross. Yeah, I don't understand the fixation on Matthew McConaughey. He's got blonde curly hair that looks like ramen noodles.
Yeah, I literally confuse him with Bradley Cooper all the time because they're like the same person to me. I don't know. They're both just like these blonde men who I'm like, all of your roles are boring to me and I don't care.
Do you know Bradley Cooper's best role was Wet Hot American Summer, so I kind of have a soft spot for him for that.
True. Wasn't Matthew McConaughey in that too? Or
No.
was I confusing him for Bradley Cooper this whole time in that too? Oh my god. This is
Yeah.
like with Vin Diesel and The Rock. It's like I fucking
They're the
can't.
same. It's fine.
They're the
Yeah.
same unless they're next to each other. Like if I watch The Fast and the Furious, I'm like, okay, when you're next to each other, I know which one's which. But if I see one of you on your own, I have to think about it for like 10 seconds before I know which one you are.
Can you only tell men apart by their hair?
I think that's the problem because it's like, oh, you're both bald and you're both pretty jacked. Same thing. You're both the same person.
Well, like Hollywood handsome is such a like they all look like that. They're all
Yeah,
the same. It's the same.
They do kind of look like Sims in a way.
Oh my
in
God.
like this, in like a very kind of like, you know, they're exactly what you would expect. They're too pretty, which you don't want.
Mhm.
No, not at all.
Too
No.
pretty. But anyway, Sarah Michelle Gellar unfortunately has to leave. We never see her again.
I
But
can't believe
she
this is
said,
all we saw of her this episode. Like they should
oh
have
my
been like, we
God.
got a hit star for this movie. It's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
yeah, we got fucking Buffy.
Yeah. Which like Buffy was
And
in
she's-
its prime in 2000, so like yeah.
And Cruel Intentions, like fucking.
Yeah.
She's a star. Anyway, so she tells Carrie that she's got an interview with McConaughey tomorrow to talk. Well, not an interview. They're just having a meeting to talk about the movie.
Mhm.
And then we move to the next day, and this scene for some reason I remember very clearly of like they're trying to drive stick and they can't. I think it's because I spent so long not knowing what stick was.
I have kind of always known what well, not always, but like since I've been driving, just because I learned to drive on stick. So it's like it's just used to me. Although I never called it that because I was always like, oh, I'm driving standard.
Oh, here it's manual, so I just
Yeah.
didn't really understand. Yeah.
Manual, standard transmission, like those are the main things that I've always called it. I mean, stick, I know what it means. I just don't hear it that often. I mean, I hear other people say it, I guess, but my family never really did, so.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
call it stick, but like I am the fakest like farm girl. I grew up on a farm and I am the only one of my sisters who never learned to drive stick. They just never taught me. It just never came up.
Oh my God. I mean, that's valid. It's like the thing is, these days you don't even really need to know how to drive stick. Like, the thing is, I do because I drove it for like that's all I drove for like the first 5 years that I knew how to drive. But then I don't have a car, and whenever I rent cars, they're always automatic transmission. And like my parents have had an automatic car for like the last 5 or so years, so like I haven't driven stick shift in like fucking a long time. So if someone was like, "Hey, can you drive this standard?" I'd be like, I think so. It's been a while, but
I think the one time I have ever driven something that was stick was I was asked to move, deadass, an entire semi-truck from one end of the farm to the other. And they just put me in it. And I was like, this is a lot of vehicle to move by myself first time driving stick. And they were like, oh, it'll be fine. So I just crawled at like 2 miles an hour across the farm in this huge vehicle, and it was so much. And then I just never wanted to do it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
so
throwing someone in. That's throwing someone in at the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
No, they loved it too. They loved to see that.
That's so stressful. I hate that someone would be like, oh, it's so funny to me that this person doesn't know what they're doing and are afraid. Like,
oh my god, I love to see people suffer.
It was probably very funny though. I was like freaking out.
Well, yeah. But Carrie's trying to drive and she can't, and she apparently just like, oh yeah, I could drive stick. Presumably she'd done it years ago. And they're in like a really fancy Cadillac.
I think it's a Mustang.
Yeah, I think it's a Mustang.
Yeah, it's a Mustang. Okay, whatever. I'm gay.
I mean,
It's fine.
I am. Yeah, the only reason I know that it was a Mustang was because I looked at it and it said, like, there were giant letters that said Mustang across the front of it. And I was like, well, that's tacky, but...
Okay, well, I also can't see very well, so...
That's fair. You're valid.
It's also the 90s, and like Mustangs were like the iconic muscle car of the time.
Yeah.
But...
No, again, sorry, gay.
I mean, we are all, but yeah.
You're either like, we are all gay. T-shirt that we're selling, which
A
says
Richard Dawkins t-shirt, but the t-shirt has a picture of Richard Dawkins wearing the t-shirt that says we are all gay.
yeah, official merch.
Uh-huh.
I wear it.
Yeah, me too.
Same. So they're screaming as they're trying to get up this hill. Samantha just gets out and says, I have a date with a dildo. Because she doesn't want to die. She just wants to get to the fucking dildo date.
I don't blame her. They had to make Carrie drive up a huge fucking hill too, which is just, they keep sliding down and I'm so stressed watching it. I'm like, this is terrifying.
It's exactly the scene in Princess Diaries.
Yes.
Like, I feel like every like show or movie that is set in LA has to have a scene where someone is struggling to drive stick up a hill.
I didn't even know that they had hills. I was like, what are they? Are they in San Francisco? Like, I only know like 3 places in California, but like, I've been to LA and it seemed relatively flat.
I think most of the like residential areas are like hilly like that. I don't know. It just seems to be a thing.
Yeah.
But then Miranda seems to disappear from the car, and Carrie goes to the Warner Brothers lot to meet Matthew McConaughey. He's a fucking weirdo. He's like, oh, I'm a big fan of the column. He's like really in her face this whole time. He says he's a fan of the column. He wants to play Mr. Big. He really likes Mr. Big. But what's Carrie's deal? Why can't they work it out? And
what the fuck is Carrie's problem?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
That's the question of the episode, I think, is what the fuck is her problem?
You're right, because there's no normal question.
No.
So it's like, okay, I for a split second thought Matthew McConaughey was the smartest person on this show, because he was like, what the fuck is wrong with Carrie? Like, what's her problem? And then he was like, I love Mr. Big. I want to be Mr. Big. And Carrie's an idiot, and Mr. Big is cool. And I was like, oh, never mind. You're right for the wrong reason.
Yeah, you're half right there.
I just love that he's like getting up into her face to basically just ask her, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Carrie?
Yeah.
This is the first time we've met, and I'm Matthew McConaughey, and what is your problem?
My favorite part is when he randomly screams, and then he's like, I'm acting.
So good. Props to Matthew McConaughey for being willing to play himself on a TV show and fucking be this shitty.
Yeah, he's horrible.
It's awful.
It's so uncomfortable.
He's so uncomfortable, and he's like, I want to fuck you. And Carrie's like, excuse me? And he's like,
she's like, are you still
acting?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, it's very uncomfortable to watch this, I mean, 20 years later with the stuff we know now, but, yeah, I mean, he does do a good job, but I hate him.
We hate him and Carrie hates him, and...
At least in this retrospect, I'm sure he's probably, you know, fine, but like, I just hate seeing the character of Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like to see him at all, so... do we see him again? I think this is the last time we see him this whole episode, so that's kind of nice. He's gone
That's
now.
fine with me. We don't need
Yeah,
more than this.
We get some great cameos next episode. Let me tell you.
Oh, fuck! Oh, I remember one of them, but I can't remember the others. I'm excited.
Yeah. So then Carrie leaves and she takes the wrong turn. She ends up in the New York, like, sound stage that they have. And it just looks the same as the show, because I don't know if the show was actually filmed in New York.
I would imagine they probably did some location shots, but probably a lot of it's not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But she sits there and has a smoke and is like, oh, I've come all the way from New York just to end back in the same place.
God. Like, cry me a fucking river.
Yeah. And then a security guard comes along and is like, you can't smoke here, ma'am. Which, of course you can't fucking smoke. It's a set.
Right.
It's like a workplace.
And once again, she so hates to hear this. And she is so surprised.
Yeah, I don't... Carrie is truly, like, an enigma in terms of, like, how dumb she is. But, yeah, then we jump to the party. The dick party.
The sexy party.
This is basically just that one episode of Party Down where there's a porn party. It's the same thing, except this one has a dick cake, so...
And what do you bet is filled with cream?
It is. Why did they have to make it so that colored? Like, it's like pink so that it can look like skin, but it's a cake. But it's like this shade of pink that's very, like, I don't know, it's a little bit too red.
Can you imagine getting paid to make that cake? Like being one of those people who just makes, like, sexy
Erotic
party.
cakes?
Yeah.
Well, there was that Simpsons episode where Marge made erotic cakes, and that sounds fun.
Depends on what the kind of erotic thing they want made as. Like, if someone asked me to make a dick cake, I'd be like, really? But if someone was like, can you make, like, a titty cake? I'd be like, fuck yeah. I'd be all over that.
I've definitely seen my fair share of vagina cakes.
Oh, God.
Do you mean like those ones that are like the geode cakes? Or just like actual, they're supposed to be vaginas?
No, they're vaginas.
Oh.
They do them for... Have you seen that one? It's like, I think it's for a baby shower, and then there's like a baby doll head
Oh my
sticking out of
God.
it.
I hate it so much.
I was about to say bon appetit, but... Ugh.
There were these cupcakes which were cute, and they were all like different colours and shapes and labia styles.
Ooh, well, that's kind of cool. You gotta have different styles.
Yeah, it's like that art installation that was like all the different molds of various vaginas.
Are there
That
like,
was fun.
the equivalent of dildo models for vaginas? Like, is there like, oh, this fleshlight is modeled after my vagina?
Unfortunately,
Oh,
yes. Please don't ask me why I know that.
Okay. From trusting.
We'll move on.
Okay.
So Garth, it seems to be celebrating Garth, the blonde guy with the mustache, dildo model.
Of course his name is Garth.
I love
Yeah.
that they named him that just to make a girth joke. Like, it really fucking is, it's good to me.
And Samantha excused herself to go get her dildo signed. And Miranda and Carrie are talking, and I thought this was going to be like Miranda being kind of angry that, like, you know, more conventionally attractive, like sexier women get men over women who are intelligent. But instead she's just like, no, I want to have sex. And obviously if you kind of dress in a way that says sex, men are more attracted to that. And she's just being a bit more realistic about the whole thing, which I liked.
I liked
She
it.
definitely-
I thought it was a realistic kind of thing. Like, it could have easily turned into that whole, like, misogynistic, you have to compete with other women kind of thing. I like that they went in this direction.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
liked it. And I liked that she was kind of just like, I wanna look like that woman. Like she just looks really good and I wanna wear that outfit. And I was like, fuck yeah, you do.
Yeah, Carrie was being a bit of a shit. But then Miranda, the woman turns around and Miranda's like, oh, I really like your dress. And she says, yeah, and she says very just nicely, do you work in the porn industry? And she says, no, I'm a lawyer for Disney.
I love it. It's good.
I really loved it. Two lawyers, sisters doing it for themselves.
Yeah, sisters, a couple of lawyers just looking to get laid.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So then Samantha is talking to Garth, and he's like, who shall I make it out to? And she says her hotel room number.
Yep, and we finally get to see the dildo now in the flesh.
Oh my god.
Huge. It's gotta be like a 3-inch diameter and like 8 or 9 inches long. Like it's fucking big.
It's the size of their forearms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big, and it's really like the girth that gets you. Like both of like it's long, but at the same time, it is fucking like thick. That's a thick dick. Yeah.
And massive balls. I was almost more distracted by the balls.
Why are the balls so big? It's not realistic.
Who wants this? Who wants this product?
Oh, I would be able to walk for a week.
It might not be what you want, but this is the peak physical form of a dildo.
Of a dildo.
Yeah. It's horrifying to me, but you know what? Like, if that's what you want, Samantha, then I support it.
Oh, and she does.
Oh, she fucking does. She sure
yeah.
loves it. He does come up to her room, and unfortunately, they're one room over from Carrie and Miranda, and Carrie's like up all night because of how much they're banging and just like how loud it is.
If I was in Samantha's position, my guts wouldn't be rearranged; they would be moved out.
Yeah, the thing is that Miranda brings it up in a bit, but like the average woman, like I feel like this isn't a comedy thing. Like I don't know, most vaginas are not deep enough for this, and I just.
I don't care. It's not even about death. It is about the girth. Anyway, so getting to this conversation, they're at breakfast and they're talking about obviously the night before and the sexcapades. Okay, so Samantha gives both of them signed dildos of Garth's dick.
Like I wanted to share.
Here's what I did last night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. It's such a good gift. If a friend gave that to me, I would just be like, cool, and then I'd put it on my wall.
Yeah,
alongside your sword.
Another sword.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in a way it would feel kind of wrong to like knowing that your friend had the real thing.
It would be a little bit weird. I mean, I guess at the same time, it's like, it's even a step away from being like, oh, I've slept with the same person as my friend.
But that feels less weird than like a detached penis.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so, because it's kind of like, oh, well, you got the real thing, but I'm getting the, polymer version.
The fake one, guided by my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, depends on how she uses it. It might be better than the real thing, so...
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an appropriate brunch gift. Really love to see it out in public, just on the table.
Oh, they're in LA.
Just dicks on the table, it's good. They're eating breakfast. No one notices. Who cares?
I think that should be used instead of cards on the table.
Just dicks on the table, yeah.
Yeah, dicks on the table, here's how I feel.
I was an art student, and I used to pass by in the art building every day. There's this painting that somebody did and just left there. That was this guy in, like, a pharaoh hat, if you know what... You probably know approximately what I mean by that. And he's naked otherwise, and his dick is just out on the table. And I couldn't get anyone to explain to me where this painting came from or what it was supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure it's still there to this day.
What are you
Just-
gonna do with it on the table? Like,
It's just out there.
I don't think you don't want it on a table.
yeah,
people
it's just
eat.
it's just inviting like a.
It's like inviting bad spirits. It's like when you put shoes on a table.
Mm.
Anyway, so yeah, they get into the conversation about, dick and length versus girth, which I remember talking about to like a guy I had a crush on as a teenager, and when I was 100% a virgin, never even seen a penis, and I was like, actually, girth is more important than dick length.
Yeah,
I thought I was very smart.
I feel like I've had this conversation with people before too. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, to a point, it's kind of true. Like, to a point, it's like I feel like I've brought up the pencil dick before on the podcast. Like, where I'm,
Oh yeah.
like, that makes a bigger difference for like feel than that makes a bigger difference than length does.
Yeah,
So,
that's real.
yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I mean, that's only one part of sex anyway, so it's kind of like, I mean, you don't even need a dick to have sex anyway, so it's like, at the same time, like, you could have better sex without it at all, but there's a point where girth is too big. There's a point where it's a problem.
I feel like goth is a problem.
Garth is a problem. I agree. Like, that is a problem to me. I see that and I'm like, that's a Coke can. But it's not like a Coke can chode. It's a Coke.
No.
It's like, when people, at parties when people like drink a bunch of beers and they stack them all on top of each of the cans and then they make like a wizard cane. That's what this is.
No,
the thing you do at parties.
Well, I've seen people do it before where they just like tape a bunch of empty beer cans together after they finish drinking them and they make like a staff out of it. And like that's
I think that's a Canadian thing.
Maybe
That's Canada.
Maybe.
I was gonna say it's a tall boy,
It's a tall boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. With the like tennis balls.
That is
It's a tube of tennis balls with the balls at the bottom. Like,
I think the balls are bigger than tennis balls.
yeah, they were huge.
What
They would
even
not fit
sport-
in my hand.
No, so they're not going to fit in your mouth.
No.
So what's the point?
What's the point? I can't close my mouth. Then what's this whole been about?
What's the fucking point? Yeah, it's too much. It's too much, but I'm very happy for him. Anyway,
Yeah, whatever. Samantha likes it, so it's good.
it's good.
Yeah.
So then Carrie goes to have a cigarette on the balcony. She's wearing this adorable pinafore dress.
It's cute.
Charlotte calls her. I think, did we miss Charlotte? Oh yeah, we missed the moment with Charlotte and Trey, and she was trying to fuck him, and he didn't want to fuck. He wanted to catalogue their wedding presents.
The thing is, when you get really into something on Microsoft Office, I get it. Like, I'm a slut for Excel. He was using Word, but like when I get going on like a spreadsheet, I'm like, sorry, but you could not tear me away from this. So.
Oh, this is some severe Capricorn antics. Like,
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but nothing gets me going quite like a spreadsheet, so this is unrelatable to me.
Yeah. Like, unironically, I get off on making spreadsheets, so.
but Charlotte calls Carrie to talk about it, and Carrie says, okay, so he's either emotionally impotent or physically. So here's what you gotta do. Take some paper, wrap it around his dick when he's asleep, and if it rips in the night, then he can get a boner, so it's emotional.
Uh-huh.
Which there are a lot of problems with this.
There's many problems with this.
Like, first of all, she does it without his consent, which...
Gross.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second, so she's got to wake up early and make sure he doesn't, like... I don't know about you, but I hear men like to pee in the middle of the night.
How did he not notice this?
Yeah.
No.
What if he just woke up
What if
at one point
how
and
did
was
these
like...
stamps get on my dick? Like,
and then she's got to wake up and take it off, but take it off without ripping it. Like, there's a lot of things. stamps.
Yeah.
There's a lot of iffiness about this, but she figures it's a great idea, listens to her friend who just cheated on her boyfriend, obviously a beacon of intelligence, and she takes like a roll of stamps that she was using to send thank you notes.
Yeah, it's certainly an idea. She uses way more stamps than I thought you would ever need to do this, but
Well, maybe he's got a big dick.
maybe, but she wouldn't know that? She's never seen it erect.
Well, it's flaccid. She's put it on flaccid, so maybe he's a shower, not a grower.
Maybe. True. True.
That's not the worst problem with this scene anyway.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely really awkward to watch. Like, regardless of Trey's problems, I don't like to see her, like, while he's asleep, putting something on his dick. Like,
No.
I don't like it. It's bad.
I don't like it at all. It's really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there is one huge problem with this, and then there's many smaller, technicalities.
There's some logistical problems, but they're just, they're dwarfed by the big one.
Yeah. So I guess we might as well talk about this, because it's split up weird. Like, we go back to Samantha, and then we go to Charlotte again. So let's just talk about Charlotte, and then we'll move on to Sam.
Sounds good.
So she does it, and then she wakes up, and Carrie says that she's as excited as a little girl on Christmas morning, which I don't want to think about.
I really don't like that. I don't know why she's so excited. She sees it and it's ripped, and she's excited. I mean, for a second, then she realizes it's a problem. But I'm like, you want it to be a physical thing, not an emotional thing. If it's an emotional thing, you've got a much bigger problem.
I mean,
like,
I guess if it's physical, then it's like harder to fix.
it's hard. Well, I don't know, because I mean,
I don't
there's
know
always
that it
stuff
is.
like Viagra,
Right, there's pills for that.
True. Okay, this whole time, how has she not just said take a Viagra? I guess maybe like he knows that he can't do it, so maybe he doesn't want to take it.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like he just doesn't want to have sex.
He's
not that he's
not talking
can't
about
get it up.
He won't engage with it. Like, she was trying so hard to seduce her own goddamn husband, and he's like, spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not that he. Because I remember, like, last episode he says, it's happened before. So he obviously is aware of it. But it definitely seems like he just doesn't want to have sex.
Yeah, it's almost like this whole relationship was really bad from start to finish.
Yeah, it seems like you're just with each other because it looks good on paper.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it seems like that.
Yeah. But, she's all excited. She cuddles up to him. And then the slow realization as the camera zooms in her face of the dark terror that her husband just doesn't want to fuck her.
Yep, some kind of emotional problem. Who knows? I love that this worked on the first try, that it's just like, without fail, he will get boner in the middle of the night.
What if it was sweaty? What if it was a hot night? Because I know them dicks get sweaty.
Oh my god, it probably would stick to his skin in realistically, because he put stamps on it, and right? These are still when you needed to always lick stamps for them to work. It's probably just he's gonna wake up with a ring of stamps around his neck.
Or he's gonna go to scratch his junk absentmindedly in the middle of the night and just tear it off.
Yeah.
And how did Carrie know how to do that? I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I really do.
I really don't know. It's all around. This whole thing is just why? Why was this? But
yeah. But anyway, then we move on to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
She's with Garth, and they're cuddling up. They had dim sum and now something else. I can't remember the actual joke. I think. Yeah. Then some. That's it. And so they're in bed, and he's like, I want to know more about you. What do you like to do? And she's just like, sex. And he says, I like poetry, and I've been published, and it's what I'm really passionate about, outside of work.
This is so uncomfortable.
I'm Sam. Yeah. I would be making Polite the cat face right now. Oh, you write poetry. Okay.
Every time I've ever found out that actually this happened to me not too long ago. We weren't having sex. I just found out a friend of mine wrote poetry. It was actually quite good.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. It's like, oh
Which
my
is not
goodness,
inherently
it's all right.
bad. It's just like,
No, it's
don't
just
want-
I don't want it.
yeah.
It's like if you find out someone writes music, that's cool. If they then start singing it to you, it's a high fail, high success like ratio.
Yeah,
You know?
same. It's kind of like improv too. It's like these are all the same kind of idea. It's like this could be really, really good. Like they're not inherently bad things, but quite often when people do them, they end up not being good. So
Yeah. But he's like reading it to her in his little briefs. And he says, you know, it's just like, it's, you know, bad poetry. It's purposely bad for the show.
Mhm.
And she's you know, she's doing polite face.
She is.
And he like cuddles up to her and he's like, I've been thinking, I've kind of like been everywhere in LA, so maybe I could move into New York with you.
Oh my god.
Yep.
That's what you say to someone.
This.
Oh my god, that's what you say to someone you've had sex with once, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he.
This
Samantha
is when you
really.
leave the fucking room. Just like,
Yeah.
go. Don't say anything more to this man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
If he just like not even like, oh, you know, I was thinking maybe if I'm in New York sometime, I come see you, we could hang out, that's cool. But to be like, oh, what if I just moved to New York and we kind of dated? Like,
It's
a bit much.
yeah, I don't like it at all. It's uncomfortable. At least Samantha has like she's fine with just straight up being like, yeah, no, I don't want that to happen. This isn't gonna work, and that's it.
Yeah, and she's not. No, she just says it point blankly. She does it in the good way, really, without hurting his feelings. Just like, nah, it's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Fucking Motorcycle. Unless it's Keanu Reeves, I don't care. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the voiceover from Carrie seems like Samantha didn't really want to go out with like a sex worker, which I don't think is the issue. It's that he was saying he'd moved to New York after they had like one date.
Right.
Yeah, and Samantha's not really the kind of person to date people either. So it's kind of like
No.
that's definitely just like a pressure thing. But yeah, the voiceover did say something kind of like, oh, it would be she didn't want to date someone who she had to introduce at like the Met Gala as Mr. Or wherever I know, not the Met Gala, wherever she
Mr.
said.
Dildo.
Mr. Dildo. But she was like, yeah, she didn't want to have to deal with that. And I'm like, that really wasn't the problem. But
No.
yeah.
But that's it for her. Oh, and I think now we're at the
The
at the rodeo.
yeah.
This is so good.
Yeah, the fact that they have this in like LA, I'm like, this is where you chose to go. It's really good. It's not like they're in like Calgary or something where it's like, this is just what I imagine bars in Calgary are like. But yeah,
Well, apparently it was the closest one that wasn't up a hill.
that I guess makes sense. Maybe.
No, it doesn't seem to make sense for like the area they're in. But I don't know.
Don't think too hard about it.
No.
Yeah.
But they're in like a cowboy bar and it's packed and they've got like a bucking bronco rodeo bull horse thingy and there's a really like sexy girl on it and she's got like a cow print like bandana as her top. I loved it.
It's real good. Yeah. And Miranda
And
loved it.
she's no, you go.
Oh, I was just saying Miranda loved it because she's gay.
Miranda's love it because she is gay.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Like, this is the gayest thing ever. Like, if you see a woman riding a bull and you're like, oh, that's hot,
This is very.
then you're gay.
Yeah, it's very. Do I want to be her or do I want to fuck her? That's very.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's extremely relatable. The whole, I mean, I think even I had a thing of like, oh, wow, I wish I could dress so sexy like those girls.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh.
Yeah, big mood.
That's the hat for me. And then Miranda volunteers to do it. She's the next girl to go up on the bull, and she goes a hog wild, and I fucking love it.
She goes tits out, and it's so valid, and I love it so much.
She just fucking
In my,
her shirt.
yeah.
She's wearing
In my
this
memory-
cute little bra. It's so good.
Yeah, she has like a little red lacy bralette on underneath. And in my mind, she had like her full tits out.
I know.
Like-
I think that is like canonically what happened, but for the TV show they
Yeah.
didn't show that. Yeah.
Like Mandela effect, I swear I remember her nipples being present, but
I'm very disappointed that I'm not on an episode with an addition to the titty tally.
We didn't have a titty.
Yeah,
Like,
well-
you should have been on next week. Next week we're gonna have a lot of titty tally.
Oh shit.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, we'll have you back for something.
Oh,
Don't
for-
worry.
Oh,
for
sounds
sure.
good to me.
There will be another titty tally. You got a dick cake. Not the same.
That's true.
but
I did get a dick cake.
it's like the closest you'll get to seeing an erect penis on TV. So,
Oh, that's true. Well, the dildo was probably more.
well, that's a good point. But I'd rather fuck the cake than the dildo. So,
I don't want a yeast infection. I'd rather have a ripped vagina than a yeast infection.
Girl.
these are both bad infections. I don't like either of them. I feel like it's a lot easier to treat a yeast infection, but
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. That's the end. That's all, folks.
Well, Carrie-
the,
Oh, wait,
the
no.
very end is Carrie like passing entirely on this movie deal, which why?
You're right. I did block that out of my mind.
But the thing that I just don't get about it is that she ends it by being like, "Oh, well, if I could master stick shift, I could have a successful relationship too." And I'm like, how is that the lesson you learned this week?
She's crazy. Okay, so like she's like, oh, do I go to an important meeting, get my column turned into a movie, and then I get all this money from like it being a film and more renewed interest in my work, or do I go and figure out my relationships?
Excuse me?
I mean, I can't blame her for not wanting to see Matthew McConaughey again, but that's a lot to turn down.
That's a lot to I can't remember if this is like her officially turning it down, or she just doesn't go to this particular meeting.
She just doesn't go to the meeting, which I would assume would end the professional
really
relationship.
Yeah, or at least like really hurt if you don't go, and also don't give them a valid reason. At least pretend to be sick,
Right?
Yeah.
or sick. But like they're paying for you to fly out. It's obviously if they're paying for you to fly out across the country, they probably have some quite serious interest in you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of just turned it down because she's like, I will need to figure out my relationship. And you can do that when you get back to New York, you know?
Mhm.
Just focus on your fucking career for 5 seconds and not a goddamn boy.
There's also no relationship to figure out. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Aiden said that they're on a break, but like, she doesn't know that he's going to come back for sure.
On a
So
break
just put him out
never
of your
means
mind.
they're coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like 10 minutes earlier in the episode, she was like sitting by the pool by herself and thinking like, you know what? Exactly what I need is being alone right now. So,
Which
I
is the
guess
only valid thing she came up with this entire
right? It's
episode.
like reverse
Yeah.
character development. Like it's just backwards. So, thanks, Carrie.
Like, yeah, Carrie, maybe be single for a while and just focus on your career for a bit, and maybe you'll find fulfillment in that instead of chasing romantic relationships which don't fulfill you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This would require Carrie
they-
to like learn her lesson, which we know she never does. So
Maybe there's more to life than boyfriends.
Yeah.
sounds fake.
Interesting
Yeah.
concept. I'll think about
And I'm the only one here without a boyfriend. So I'm obviously team don't have a boyfriend unless
You're not
you're
wrong.
Sue or unless you're
Yeah.
Sue. Unless you're my friend, you've got a boyfriend then, in which case I love that. But like,
yeah.
you
Most
know.
people tell me they have a boyfriend, and I'm just like, why?
I do really want to dump him t-shirt.
Yeah, it's good. I do love that. I do love to give that advice to people. It's just like, I'm not going to tell you to dump your boyfriend, but also you could do better. That's
Uh-huh.
me
Yeah.
90% of the time. So, but
But all right, so now that's the end of the episode. I just got a bit too carried away.
yeah.
Get it? Anyway, so what's our rankings?
You want to go first, Sue?
Sure. Well, obviously Miranda's the top this week because
Oh, yeah.
her entire storyline was so relatable and I loved it and it was really good. Samantha comes next because she got exactly what she wanted and nothing more, and that was great for her. And
Yeah.
then I guess Charlotte next because I'm always going to put Carrie on the bottom. But like
I-
Charlotte was not valid this episode. So
No.
I don't know. I think she and Carrie just kind of share the bottom rung in my mind.
Yeah, well, because like
Yeah.
Charlotte did the gross thing, but Carrie was the one who told her to do it. So like they're
Yeah.
both in the wrong for that. So
They are, yeah, they're both sort of equal partners in that. So I would say the same. Joint bottom, and then a 1 and 2.
yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. Same hat.
Miranda was extremely valid, and really so was Samantha. She got what she wanted.
Yeah, I have no problem with her this episode. It was good.
No.
They're
Yeah.
good.
She also wore that
both-
wonderful jumpsuit, so we got to give her the credit for that.
Yeah, that was great.
Deserved.
It was like, do you remember? Did either of you guys see A Cinderella Story
Yes.
Yes.
It's been a while.
with
Yes.
Hilary Duff? Okay, so the evil stepsisters in that would always wear like their one color coordinated outfit, and it reminded me of that.
It's
It's good.
A single evil stepsister.
Yeah, she's like Jennifer Coolidge. Why haven't Jennifer Coolidge and Kim Cattrall played like sisters in a movie or
Oh
something?
my god, that would be so good. They're both
Oh.
really delightful, so I'd watch that.
Me too.
Mhm.
Mm,
I would give the gays everything they want.
true.
Happy Pride.
This is our first episode of Pride Month, so
Oh, hell
Give us
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
blasting the big tunes. Anyway, so should we get to questions?
We should.
gang?
Sounds
Yes.
good to me.
Alright. Okay, so our first 2 questions are from regular question asker and friend of the show, Mike Dawson on Tumblr.
I first
Oh, yeah.
because one's from Mummy Mailbag, so
Okay, well, first question, and then there's another question from Mike Dawson later on.
yeah.
Do you think Miranda has ever fucked an actual sandwich? If so, what kind? And what about Samantha?
Well, the dick that Samantha fucked this week was basically a Subway sub, so yeah.
I was going to say baguette.
Something like
Ooh.
that, yeah.
A baguette is harder, and this seemed quite firm.
Yeah. A baguette would be ideal.
Of all the kinds of
no-
bread you could fuck, I guess.
Nothing with grains.
No, God.
No.
No whole grain bread, no.
Like a hot dog bun.
That's just gonna just smush.
Yeah, there's not enough integrity to that. Unless the hot dog is in it.
Even then, the bun's not gonna follow it when it tries to go in. It's just gonna get smushed, and then it might get a little soggy. I
Is a
don't
hot dog
like
a
it.
sandwich under these conditions? Does that count?
Oh, I don't...
You know what? It's got meat
I'm-
in it, and it's got a bun. And well, I feel like the difference between a bun and a bread is what separates like a burger from. Well, I don't know.
I'm not getting into this
Yeah, I didn't mean
discourse.
to
I'm
bring
really-
up the whole
No.
question of semantics, but
I'm gonna
I
No.
feel like any type of sandwich is going to be too messy, so it's just kind of impossible.
Mhm.
And because it has fillings, like you can fuck bread technically, but a sandwich is too much.
Yeah, that's true. Because a baguette's not a sandwich. You can make a sandwich out of a baguette, but I don't. If I had the choice between fucking a baguette and fucking a baguette that was like had meat and cheese and stuff in it, I'd be like, no.
no matter
ba-
what, it's a
Yeah.
guaranteed yeast infection, so
You know,
probably a
Oh,
bad
literally.
idea from start to finish.
mhm. Yeah.
And I feel like Samantha can just get like real dick whenever she wants, so I don't think she'd go for a sandwich.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, neither of them have, I think.
Okay. The next question from Mike Dawson is how would Nathan Fielder improve the business of Charlotte's art gallery?
Okay, so I thought about this one a little bit because I am a huge fan of Nathan for you. And of course Nathan and I both graduated from Canada's top business school with really good grades. So that's very important to me. We're both alumni from the same place. Okay, what I was thinking was, you know how you might see that there's like an art show, but you might not really be interested in it because you might like walk by it and be like, okay, well, I don't really like this kind of art, or I don't really like this artist. But the what would make it better is if you could have like 10 different artists at the same time, all doing their own gallery. but you couldn't fit all that art in the same place at once. So what you got to do is you got to make miniature art of all of the paintings so that you can make an entire art gallery on like one wall, and then you can have like 10 different galleries at once, and then you'll have more people coming in to see your art show. So you just got to make the miniature versions.
Interesting. Okay.
That's what I think. I think, yeah. Anyway,
I remember on like the UK Apprentice, which is obviously superior to the American one, they had a gallery like challenge, and they had to pick an artist and then also print t-shirts in the same building of the artist's like work and sell it to people. So maybe just a t-shirt factory.
ooh, that would be interesting.
I think the real answer here, if we want to be able to keep our gallery fresh and only show people art they want to see, is we start out by having an Anish Kapoor show, so we have that hole in the ground, the like dead-ass real, 6-foot drop hole in the ground. And then people, and then you bring in other artists as you like, but people are able to vote to eliminate said artists. And if they get enough votes, then you just drop them down the Anish Kapoor hole, and you just keep going.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I do love that. Do you do like a 300 style, like this is Sparta and kick them in?
Well, yeah. What else are you gonna do?
You say art.
Good, great.
Do the kick, yeah.
Okay, we do have another question from Mike Dawson, or we can leave them and come back if we don't want to spoil the broth.
This it is pretty short, but we can whatever you feel like. You do you.
Let's just do it.
All right.
Third one from same user. We just on a roll here. Choo choo. Is Samantha a baddie of the day?
Is this like Monster of the Week?
What's Monster of the Week?
It's like on Buffy when like there's a new monster every week, and that's like the problem for the episode. I don't really get it.
No, I think it means like an Instagram baddie.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I want to say that the baddie of the week is Miranda, because she's like, she's going for that. I think you're a baddie on purpose, and Samantha's goal isn't necessarily to be a baddie.
Yeah.
All right. So, like a baddie is a Twitter, and they post like just it seems to be mostly animated characters. Of like a baddie is like a bad bitch, and like an Instagram baddie is like an Insta thought. Okay. You're like, I'm gonna post pictures of me in my matching like legging cord, drinking my flat tummy tea, and then I'm gonna go get lip fillers, right?
Okay.
So I feel like a baddie's kind of like a bit of a bad bitch. More of a tinge of like edginess to them, sex appeal. I feel like Samantha could definitely be a baddie of the day. She is a baddie of the decade. She is quite like quintessentially 90s, if you ask me.
That's a good point.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's more of just a baddie of the day.
Okay.
She's my baddie.
True. We love her.
We do. So we have a question from Anonymous, but not really.
True. Not really anonymous.
No. So Anonymous asked, this is Scout. So jumping off Dan's question from last week, Sex and the City CBD episode, which one vapes? Discuss.
Ooh,
I feel like we've answered something similar to this before.
I can't... Can you picture the show, but instead of smoking, Carrie has jewels?
Like, I could picture that. I feel like we once talked about how Big rips fat clouds.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Big Clouds. I don't know.
I'm sure we did. I feel like Miranda could be really into like CBD, just because she seems like this was 2019. She would 100% have a diagnosed anxiety disorder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So CBD would be right up her street of just a little tincture in the daytime. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she'd vape it. but maybe.
Yeah, I could imagine like a Charlotte episode where she's very like anti CBD. Like she's just very like, oh, I just don't think anyone should have anything to do with weed. And then I can see her like getting over it and then realizing like, oh, this shit is good. And then suddenly she's just like stoner Charlotte.
And then the next
Yeah.
episode, she's wearing leggings with pot leaves all over them.
Yeah.
God, and she's like legalize it.
Yeah, and she's got like a little Rasta hat and dreadlocks, white girl dreadlocks.
Oh my God. That's the
Oh.
most horrifying thing I can imagine is Charlotte with dreadlocks.
I think Samantha has a vape, like a weed vape pen, 100%, that she just has throughout the day.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to her. It's just like, it's not her personality. She just has one. Whereas with Carrie,
Yeah.
it's like her personality.
I'm just picture like Samantha, you know, like that Sophie Turner video where she like throws it on the ground because
Yeah.
she realizes it's on camera.
Yeah.
It's just that.
That was so good.
And then Carrie, oh, it's so good. And then Carrie's with her jewel. So we are all Sophie Turner.
We are all, God, I love Sophie Turner so much. So
Yeah, me too. I need you guys to see this photo shoot she did recently where she's
the
like,
suit one,
oh
it's so good. I've
my
really seen
gosh.
so good. Oh, you gotta.
Ugh. She's in a suit and she has like her hair so it looks short and it's like extreme Tilda Swinton vibes.
It's real good shit. I love Sophie Turner.
Yeah.
So thanks for the question, Scott. That was good.
This is a real girl crush episode. We're getting every 5 seconds like she's gay. That's gay. This is how we celebrate Pride, by just being extremely sapphic.
That's just what's going to happen when you have me on, just so you know.
I love it.
I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. I'm so happy you're here. But we have one more question.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then, well, then it's going to be a month more of episodes of us being, you know, gay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for it.
Me too.
This is a good question
so
about being gay. This is a real good question for Pride Month.
true, and it's from a good Pride user. So from Tumblr user 2x2 Furious, who asks if each of the girls were I need to make sure I pronounce this correctly before Stephanie flies to the UK to behead me. Sufjan Stevens album, which one would they be?
This is so hard because I don't want to like give any of them a really good album, but all of the albums are really good. So I'm like, fuck.
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, I like his music. I don't really know if I know his albums well enough to like, you know, put them to the girls.
Like, I don't think any of them is sad bitch enough to be Carrie and Lowell.
No.
I could imagine. I think Charlotte is Illinois because Illinois it's got some pretty overtly gay tones in it. I mean, it's got Predatory Wasp of the Palisades, which is an incredibly Charlotte song because they were in love, Palisades, Palisades. And she's a wasp, so it just fits. I don't know. And it's also probably one of the less dark Sufjan albums. I mean, despite the fact that it has it's got a couple pretty dark songs on it, but
John Wayne Gacy Jr. is what I listen to when I just stare in the mirror at myself at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, yeah, in your best behavior, you're really just like him. So,
yeah.
Okay, so Charlotte is Illinois. I feel like one of them has to be the DQE because that's like a New York album, basically. But I don't even know who it really fits with. I mean, maybe Carrie, because she's the most like quintessentially, I'm from New York, and I don't really listen to it very often, so that fits with Carrie. Miranda, man, fuck, I don't want to give them any of these. Like, I love Miranda, but she doesn't even fit with like, let's see, Samantha, what's the sluttiest Sufjan album?
A Sun Came?
Yeah, a Sun Came. She could be a Sun Came.
I mean, it has Came.
It has
in
Came
the
in it.
name.
That's as
It
much
has-
as I can recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a Sun
What?
Came. It was kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how the fuck did I not immediately think Charlotte would be Enjoy Your Rabbit? Like, that's just Charlotte right there.
Okay, maybe maybe Miranda could be Illinois then.
Okay.
Because she feels like a bit Chicago. Like, if she wasn't in New York, she would live in Chicago.
Yeah, I think that could work. Okay, so that makes sense. So BQE for Carrie, a son came for Samantha, fucking Illinois for Miranda, and enjoy your rabbit for Charlotte. Okay, there we go. We did it.
Okay, I think that's all the questions for the week.
It is.
So, do you want to rattle off about our Patreon?
Oh yeah, if you follow us on, I need to open the Patreon. I should open it because I have to read our subscribers. I should just know. Yeah, if you donate to us on Patreon, you can get some bonus content. So at any level on our Patreon, you can now access our first bonus episode of the Mummy Mailbag. So that's available for $1 or higher. We recorded that last week, and so it's really funny because we had Alex's mom on, and she's a delight.
Yeah.
If you're a $1 donor, you also get, a special word in the Discord, and you'll also get access, if we do get to make Keanu podcast, you'll get access to that too. And you'll also get a secret Discord channel of Looker exclusive photos.
So
It's
worth it.
good. He's so delightful. I love him so much. He's been sleeping this entire recording, so
Yeah, he has. He's been so
Please
good.
tell him I love him.
everyone loves you, Looker. He didn't even look up. The $5 tier.
He knows.
He knows. At the $5 tier, you're a cardboard cutout of a baby. And it's like everything that's the same as the $1 tier. You get a more special role in the Discord, and you can also submit stuff for Steve Voice. So people gotta do that. We don't have any Steve Voices this week. So submit one to wherever. What's the other thing? So then we'll also read your name on the podcast. So our $5 donors are Jess Ialachi. Jess Ialachi, Summer Geist, Pierre the Disaster, and Siberian Pine Hardwood. And then at the $10 tier, you are Mr. Big Spender, and you can listen to the Discord recording while we record every week, plus everything else at the earlier rolls. So yeah, support us on Patreon. It's just patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo. We would love it if you would, and thank you to all our donors who are already donating.
Please give us money for Keanu podcast so I can cry for 3 hours about my own private Idaho. I think we've decided that would be the first episode.
That'll be the first one, and it's gonna be like, I don't want to make like a 3-part episode, but also like I feel like we can just cry about that for so long.
There's just one episode which is just an hour of us crying, and then the other one which is us actually talking about it.
I mean, the thing is, River and Keanu, they were in love, Palisades. So got that down.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm excited, and I am very thankful for all our donators and all our listeners. I'm so glad. We've been having a couple new listeners recently, so thank you for joining the fam.
Yeah, and join our Discord server if you haven't already, because it's been real fun. We've had lots of really delightful people there. It's been super nice getting to talk to people who listen to the show. And yeah, I guess plugs. Sue, what do you want to plug?
You can find me on Twitter at Sue Makes Art. That's SU Makes Art. You can also find me on Patreon at the same name. I'm hoping to very soon launch a new podcast, an open sketchbook, where we talk about art and make it accessible to like normal ass people, so it's not all like high academia bullshit. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got going right now.
I'm very excited for that podcast.
Me too.
Thank you. I am too. I just need to like actually fucking do it.
Excited. It's gonna be me.
Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie, and you can find me on Twitter at Age of Oddish. You can find me on Tumblr at Wimfall Island, and that's pretty much it. Haven't done anything else lately.
You can find me on Tumblr at DorkPhoenix, on Twitter at DorkPhoenix69, and you can find the show on Gmail, on Twitter, on Tumblr, and we're all City Girls Make Do, and obviously Patreon, so you know where to find us. You love us. We love you.
And if you want to join
and
the
that's
Discord,
it.
I didn't really mention it, but it is on our Patreon, and it's on our Twitter, and it's on our Tumblr. So wherever you go, you can find a link to the Discord server. So
Yeah. So that's it.
that's it. Thank you so much for coming on, Sue.
Yeah, we had a
Thank
great
you
time.
for having me. Oh my gosh, I love this show so much. It's one of the things I really look forward to with my Sunday mornings. I always
Aw.
take my walk and get my coffee and listen to City Girls Make Do. So it's so awesome to be here. Thank you.
Aw.
Loved having you. So
Yeah,
definitely
we
be back
did.
someday.
Yes, definitely. We had a great time. And I'm sure everyone's listening, so they already know it's a great episode, but I feel like this is gonna be a great episode. So
I agree. It's a good one. Yeah, so that's all for us. So mohe every day.
mohe every day.
Mohe every single day.
Thanks.